Welcome painters! Today we start a new series of videos. It will be How to Paint MEPHISTON. Today's video is about painting the face and hair. I will use only the brush, so if you're ready, let's go for it. Let's start. I will teach you how to paint the face, so go for it! The first thing is to put all the colors on the wet palette. I will use Sunny Skin Tone and this pale color from the Panzer Aces range, reference 331. I use this color to reduce the intensity of the yellow of Sunny Skin Tone, as I want to get a pale color. So I put both colors on the palette. I will use Artist Opus brush, size 1. I add some water to the colors and mix them. What's next? Apply thin layers. If we load too much paint, we will obscure the details, so load a little paint and apply it very smoothly. So we will get a good result. Layer by layer. Continue painting, then let it dry and carry on. That's the way to achieve good results. Here you can see the final result. This is 2 to 3 layers. Next step, washes. I will use Scarlet Red and Violet. I add both colors to the wet palette and add more water than usual because I will be applying washes. And paint must be diluted more so it can enter all the recesses of the face. Look closely how I load very little paint, rest it on the surface of the face, and then I drag it to get the paint into the cavities. A bit of advice, apply a glaze and let it dry, then continue. If you don't wait until a wash is completely dry, you will not achieve good results. It's a very simple technique. Thin down paint and apply it to enter all the crevices. It's a very quick way to get definition on a surface. You see how little by little the flesh gets a cool reddish tone. Next, I will add a little bit of blue-green to reduce the intensity of the red a little. I think it will look great. And I am applying the new wash. I focus on the deepest areas, especially to reduce the reddish tone. I think I went too far, so don't worry, I reduce it with a bit of blue-green. Here you can see the final result. Look closely at the box. It shows all the colors on the wet palette. To the base color, which is sunny skin tone and a desaturated pale green, I add a little red, and I use this color for the first highlights. Where do I apply them? Well, on the most important parts, such as the forehead, cheeks, bridge of the nose, lips, and a little on the chin. Very important when painting a face, especially one this small size, is to load just a little paint. We take very little, rest it on the surface, and pull it so we get a good blend. The more layers you apply to the same area, the color gets more intense. So, apply one coat, let it dry, and do it again. Notice that the cheek where I applied more layers, the light is more noticeable. I keep highlighting the forehead, and notice that now I add a bit of blue-green to the mixture. And I apply this mixture to the sides of the face, so we will get a different tone in those areas. I also added a little more red and applied it to the cheeks. So we add tones to those areas. With a little bit of black, I paint the inside of the mouth to define that part. As you can see that little by little, we get good definition in all areas. And most importantly, go slowly. This is a hobby, so enjoy it and do it calmly. I keep highlighting. And you see that I am playing with a little bit of blue-green, violet, and scarlet red mixed in with the first highlight color in order to tone different parts. For example, below the eyes I add a little more scarlet red and violet to tone that part. That's why it's very good to use a wet palette. The colors are always fresh, and we can mix them at the same time. If I want more red, I take it, add it to the mixture, and apply it. I am defining the wrinkles on the forehead a bit more. And if you look, the whole part of the cheek is darker. And that is achieved by adding more blue-green or violet. We want to achieve a pale face, but with some tones to it. And here you can see the final result. Second highlight, I will add light flesh. This color contains a lot of white, so I will add a little bit of sunny skin tone. But be careful, don't go too far with sunny skin tone, since it contains a lot of yellow, so just add a little for the second highlight. Since we want to get a pale shade, and if we add too much sunny skin tone, we won't get that pale face. So I'll say it again, add just a little. And I will apply the second highlight, but where? On the same parts as in the previous step, but reducing the area to be highlighted. In this step, we will focus a lot on the facial expression, especially on the wrinkles, to define them well and achieve a grim, bad guy expression. So, look closely at the palette. As I take the colors and apply the highlight. See how I rest paint on the surface and then I pull it. And very important, I take very little paint because I want to get a good blend. If you look at the box, I take the paint and then unload it on the palette. And next, I apply the paint on the face. You see that they are light touches. And each time, the face gets more definition and expression. I focus quite a bit on the forehead, which is a very focal point on this figure. The face must draw a lot of attention. And also look very close at the lips. I add a little bit of red to tone them. If you find that tone is too strong, add blue-green to reduce it. I keep applying the highlights and adding light touches. The more layers you apply to the same part, the color becomes more intense, as you can already see here. Apply a layer, let it dry, and then repeat. I continue on the forehead. I apply the paint and blend it. And here you can see the final result. This is already taking shape. Last step, magic touches. I paint the eyes and teeth with Deck Tan. A bit of advice when painting eyes. Never use white, since the color of eyes is never a pure white, but always white with a little bit of brown or green. So Deck Tan is a good color to paint eyes. Another good tip is to not add too much water. If the paint is thinned down too much, it will run off into all the crevices, and we do not want that. So if the paint has to be a little bit thick, but it must flow properly too, so it will be easier to paint the eyes. And above all, very important, use a good brush that has a very fine tip. If you look, I take very little paint and apply it. I apply a layer and then repeat. The eyes and teeth are very tiny details, so we have to go slowly. I apply a thin layer and then another. I am going to add a little bit of blue-green by the eye to add that brightness of light. The paint must be thinned down more to get into the crevices. You see that with just a couple of passes, we already get this bright effect. Some advice: apply a wash, then a second one, let it dry. With a little red and flesh color, I paint the tongue. We are about to finish MEPHISTON's face. Another tip is to give yourself time to paint a face. The face is the most important part of a miniature, so if we give them our time, we will get a good result and our mini will be amazing. I will add some points of light to the face to make it stand out a bit more. And it's already finished. Here you can see the final result of how to paint MEPHISTON's face. I apply the base color of the hair with Deck Tan. As you can see, I apply thin layers. I rest the paint on the surface and then drag it. Here you can see the final result. And you can see that I applied more layers on the upper parts and less on the lower parts. Next, I will glaze with ice yellow, as I want to achieve a platinum blonde tone. So, I will add some glazes to tone the hair. Very important, if we add too much yellow, that's not good. It's just a few touches to get this shade of whitish blonde hair. Here you can see the final result. I will highlight it with ivory. I take some ivory and add a little bit of Deck Tan, and I start highlighting. I focus on the upper tufts to add volume. And I apply thin layers. And remember, the more layers you apply to the same part, the stronger the color will get. So apply a layer, let it dry, and then continue. I keep highlighting and also apply some washes with ice yellow on the lower parts. To add some yellow tones to the hair. I combine the highlights and this ice yellow wash. I keep highlighting. There's very little left. More tones with ice yellow. I do not want to go too far with ice yellow, just light touches. I'm going to add a little bit of violet mixed with ice yellow to add shadows to the hair. Only on the lower areas. Here you can see the final result. Final step, and I already glued the head to the body to see the whole package. I painted the metallic parts of the face with a base color of black, and I added white to highlight. Now, with blue-green, I am adding a tone to the metal to make it shine more. This step is the magical one. We just add slight touches to improve the figure. It is also interesting to reinforce the shadows on the face, just where hair and flesh meet. We add some more shadows with red and violet tones to make it stand out. I will add some more tones to the hair to enrich it more. I add a bit more light. Those details are what make the difference, so I encourage you to take your time when painting faces. Here you can see the final result of this video about painting MEPHISTON's face and hair. I encourage you to watch the next video as it will be brutal. I would like to know your opinion about this miniature painting process, so let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the video with your friends, and ring the bell to get notifications of future videos. And very important, don't forget that in the video description there is a full list of the products that I use. If you live in Spain, you can get all of these products at Goblin Trader, in France at Hobby Shop, and in the United Kingdom at Element Games. See you in the next video!